Yo, what up? It's Maja back in another video, and I'm about to be reacting to another horror movie reaction. It's gonna be another top 10 on top 10 ridiculous horror movies that were actually scary. Okay, I'm interested in seeing what this is. That's why I'm reacting to it, because I don't know.
All else, audiences generally expect horror films to be scary, or at least basically unnerving, though that can become a serious challenge when dealing with more out there subject matter that viewers may also struggle to take seriously. But with that being said, I'm Jem from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 ridiculous horror movies that
No,
are
terrifying.
terrifying. Number 10, The Ring. It's easy to imagine another version of The Ring, either the 1998 original Ringu or its surprisingly solid 2002 US remake that just doesn't work at all. The premise of a cursed VHS tape that causes viewers to die 7 days later sounds totally laughable on paper, and with both films arriving in an era where goofy techno-centric horror films were all the rage, The Ring could have gone so wrong, but credit to the original filmmaker and remake director for soaking this undeniably silly concept in an almost unbearable amount of dread. Both films make masterful use of slow burn storytelling to heighten the viewer's unease, enough to make them forget how utterly daft the whole cursed videotape setup actually is. More than 25 years after The Ring's release, it remains a high point of modern international horror, while Verbinski's sumptuous feast of a remake is basically the benchmark by which all glossy Hollywood retellings are measured. Number 9, Oculus. From one comically haunted object
I don't lie, I didn't really think The Ring was that scary, honestly. I mean, it felt the only creepy scene was her, like the girl Samara, I think that was her name, crawling out the TV, and I thought that was like the most scariest thing when I was a fucking kid, bro. When I saw the previews of that when I was like watching wrestling, I used to close my eyes. Bro, I was such a pussy.
to another now, we have Mike Flanagan's Oculus, which revolves around a haunted antique mirror which attempts to kill anyone it has sustained contact with. But trust genre veteran Flanagan of all people to take this seemingly daffy idea for a horror movie, which originally started out as a short film he directed, and render it staggeringly tense. Flanagan's creativity as a filmmaker allows him to wring every possible drop of suspense out of two adults battling an evil mirror. This is aided by the film's low budget, which forces Flanagan to ditch any over-the-top mirror-based set pieces like you might expect to see in a bigger budget studio version of the story, in favour for a more subtle, restless brand of horror. Against the odds, Oculus is a film that well and truly burrows under the skin and helped propel Flanagan to the success he rightly enjoys today. Number 8, Hellraiser. Clive Barker's madcap horror classic is
Hellraiser,
almost too loony for words,
cult
revolving
classic.
as it does around a puzzle box that can be used to summon extra-dimensional entities known as Cenobites, and a dude who attempts to regain his human form by killing other dudes, also he can have sex with his former lover once more. Hellraiser is about as out there as a quasi-mainstream horror gets, but Barker impressively renders all of this ridiculousness in raw, visceral terms through the film's extreme body
Ugh.
horror and its utterly iconic singular depiction of the Cenobite.
This whole thing did not scare me. Like Hellraiser used to creep me out, but like just the body scenes and like the makeup that they did was so phenomenal. That shit scared the shit out of me, bro. It just like and it kind of disgusted me a little bit too. So because like what they did with horror in those days was pretty amazing for like 1980.
Fights themselves. Barker and his production team invested all their energy in the right places, ensuring that audiences were so busy staring slack-jawed at the stunning gore effects and Pinhead that there wasn't too much time to question how preposterous the entire enterprise actually was. Number 7, Suspiria. Dario Argento's Suspiria sounds positively laughable
Suspiria.
when you read the pitch aloud, centers as it is around a prestigious German dance academy that's actually a front for a coven of witches. Sure, why the hell not? Throw in the film's totally wild approach to lighting and production design, its dream-like storytelling, and that goblin musical score, and Suspiria feels like a mishmash of ingredients that really should not work. Argento's surreal approach is precisely what makes Suspiria so effective, ensuring the audience can never get comfortable with what they're watching and instead constantly having to field unhinged curveballs being lobbed their way by the master filmmaker. It's bewildering stuff, and while
Shit.
Suspiria should be incredibly difficult to take seriously, it's ultimately so intoxicatingly atmospherically bizarre as to muster genuine fear throughout. Number 6, Child's Play. Though the Child's Play
Okay.
franchise has
Okay.
leaned increasingly
Child's Play. It may be seen like so ridiculous to see like a doll running around, but like this is like one of my favorite like scary series, like a little slasher genre I can put it in. But like this is like one of my favorite movie series, bro. Like just to see a doll running around killing people, it just wasn't like the mechanics of the doll running around with the knife and stuff and just killing people. It's just how he killed people. It was scary. Like, bro, like it had like people that had dolls and stuff just like looking at their shit sideways, like, well, come on, my nigga. You about to stab me right now, my nigga? Bro, that's one of the creepy things about Chucky. And what set it over the top is he did not give no fucks. He was just like always stabbing people and like making sure people die, bro.
Increasingly into its silly, satirical side over the years, it remains impressive that the original 1988 film is not only a totally straight-faced slasher flick about a killer toy doll, but actually manages to get away with it. An adorable doll coming to life and murdering people as a result of a voodoo chant that transplants a serial killer's soul into it is about as silly as horror movie setups can get, actually. But thanks to the film's many smart creative choices, minimal footage of Chucky in action, superb puppetry work, and brilliant vocal performance by Brad Dourif, it adds up to an experience primed to terrify kids and adults alike. The franchise creator later decided to pivot the franchise into horror comedy territory, starting with the fourth film, Bride of Chucky, which probably a smart call all things considered, especially with the diminishing returns of the second and third movies as serious-minded slashers. Number 5. The Shallows. Shark movies are inherently pretty daft at the best of times, but 2016's The Shallows rocks a uniquely laboured, convoluted setup in which a young woman, Blake Lively, ends up stranded on a rock 200 yards from shore while being stalked by a great white shark. This is one of those
Mm.
gimmicky, everything can go wrong, will go wrong horror thrillers that's a ton of fun to watch, even though it requires extraordinary suspension of disbelief. If you buy into the contrived circumstances that leave Lively's protagonist imperiled, and the increasingly dire wrinkles that further complicate her survival, The Shallows does capture the visceral terror of being pursued by a natural predator in a way few other post-Jaw shark films ever have. Credit to Lively for not only her intensely physical performance, but also her ability to carry the film almost solo, persuading most naysayers to buy fully into her protagonist's predicament, despite our greater instincts telling us otherwise. Number 4. Hell House LLC. It was incredibly easy to write Hell House LLC off from the outset, a found footage film that uncovers the truth behind a haunted house attraction that malfunctioned, causing the deaths of 15 punters and staff members alike. Such a concept felt very passé even back in 2015 when the found footage
Took a look at this. I thought it was really fucking ridiculous, but like, it's just like those little fucking people moving around and like the little costumes are scary as hell. And I think I seen this one scene where the dude went up to him and like and turned around and they started moving. That shit really got me with a jump scare.
genre was already well past its peak, and it didn't just seem like a roller coaster ride through an actually haunted house would offer much in the thrills department. But what a pleasant surprise it was to be totally wrong. Hell House LLC makes the most of its low budget to
I gotta watch this
thoroughly
again.
creep the audience out with subtle visual frights while preying upon that most elemental of audience fears, our collective hatred of clowns. In theory, Hell House LLC throws up a lot of red flags, indicating yet other listless, unintentionally comical found footage flick that won't raise the pulse much at all. However, this atmospheric direction works wonders in making the most of this scant, shrewdly selected resources. Number 3. Idle Hands. Idle Hands is a righteous horror comedy
Oh yeah.
revolving around a slacker stoner, Anton, whose hand becomes possessed and starts killing people, creating quite the predicament for him. It's one hell of a kooky setup, and while Idle Hands is an insane comedic horror film, it does manage to tap into something terrifying on a primal level: the loss of one's bodily autonomy. Being pursued by a masked killer is one thing, but when your own body betrays you and is weaponized against you, and the ones you care about, that's one hell of a unique approach to body body horror. Again, the movie is all
It's
about
weird.
wacky, off-the-wall
Yeah.
dark comedy, but at its core is an idea that's really quite frightening, even if at an extremely heightened level. We all take for granted that our body is only ours to use, but Idle Hands posits a scenario whereby that freedom is taken away, creating an uneasy what-if for viewers. Number 2. Smile. The marketing for Smile admittedly did it no favours at all, focusing on the most tropey and conventional elements of its high-concept setup, enough that many assumed it'd be another slop fest in the vein of 2018's Truth or Dare. The story revolves around a therapist, Rose, who is preyed upon by a
Oh yeah, that was just like Truth or Dare. I did not enjoy Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare was just so annoying, bro. It's just people were running around with like a goofy ass face. Bro, you stare at like a horror you stare at like a horror movie and you just can't like really take it serious because like they're like just smiling right at you, and like I thought that was gonna be just like Smile, but Smiles kind of stood out a little bit more.
trauma demon who forces her to witness visions of those around her wearing eerily enthusiastic smiles on their faces as part of its plan to torment her to death. The trailers made it look resoundingly stupid, but credit to filmmaker Parker Finn, who actually crafted a surprisingly
Yeah,
character-driven, stylish, and brilliantly acted slice of horror that made its dubious premise genuinely unnerving. Better yet, Finn managed to repeat this success with the recent Smile 2, which arguably turned out to be even better than its predecessor. What an outcome for an initial logline that invited so little optimism from horror fans. Number 1. Christine. John Carpenter's
the classic.
Christine is a movie that just should not work, given that it's basically an unhinged love story in which a car grows jealousy, murderously possessive of its owner, Arnie. Christine was written in Stephen King's drug era, and it absolutely shows. The prospect of adapting something so deranged into a
Bro,
live-action movie
you,
where a
bro,
1950s
oh my bad, my bad. You know how much of a genius you gotta be to write while you're like on drugs and stuff? Man, that nigga Stephen King is amazing, man. He wrote all of those stories, but like he wrote that in his drug era. I mean, something that turns into a movie later on too. Like, come on now. I'm glad he made so many movies, man. We wouldn't even have it.
58 Plymouth Fury has a mind of its own, attempts to control the object of its affection, and kills anyone who gets in its way. Just seems like a bit of a non-starter, doesn't it? And yeah, 1980s Carpenter was no slot, and he inexplicably managed to make Christine a genuinely disturbing piece of work. Carpenter's greatest achievement lies in truly making Christine herself feel like a character in the movie, rather than a mere mechanical killing machine. Seeing the damage that Christine is capable of, not to mention her
Damn,
ability to
that's
repair herself,
awesome.
makes for legitimately tense and eerie viewing, far from the inherent cartoonishness of the idea. Let us know what you think in the comments down below, and while you're there,
I'm gonna lie, these are actually some good, really good submissions, bro. Some movies that you think were goofy, like Child's Play, Christine, and like Smile too, bro. You going to the theaters like kind of mistaken. But hey, let me know what you guys think of that, and let me know if you guys want me to react to some more videos of like horror and like it could be different ones too, and like different horror type of movies, like analyzing stuff. But yeah, let's see what we got, man. I'm trying to react to some more stuff, trying to put out more videos too. But hey, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Remember to like and subscribe and comment.